Tonight at 5, amid scandal in a neighboring state, what safeguards Wisconsin has in place to prevent child care fraud.
Also hear from a local business owner stuck abroad as the U.S. deals with limited airspace due to the military operation in Venezuela.
And later, 5 years after the January 6th riots, where the Wisconsin so-called fake elector case stands right now. All of that coming up. News 3 Now at 5. Thanks for joining us. And we begin with some breaking news. The Sun Prairie School District says an independent investigation into its handling of a child sex assault investigation is now over.
The district has also released the investigation's findings. This investigation began after the former dean of students, Robert Gilkey Messigeyer, was charged with multiple child sex crimes, including some that happened on school grounds with students. The school board faced backlash for its handling of the incident. The investigation's findings are up right now on channel3000.com, and our newsroom staff is combing through the findings and will continue to follow this story all night. Follow along for updates with the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Right now, Wisconsin is seeing a surge in flu cases.
Last week, we reported flu cases in the Badger State were moderate based on data from the week ending December 20th. We now have new information, and it shows for the week ending December 27th, Wisconsin has a very high activity of influenza. In southern Wisconsin specifically, there is also very high flu activity. It's also increasing based on emergency department visits.
Wisconsin isn't the only state seeing high rates of the virus either. 44 others have high or very high activity, and that's up from 30 states just a week earlier. The CDC says there have been at least 11 million cases, 120,000 hospitalizations, and 5,000 deaths so far this season, and that includes 5 children. Doctors say it's not too late to get your flu shot. If you haven't gotten one yet, find locations near you by entering your zip code at vaccines.gov.
And now for a look at your first warn forecast. It's warmer today, but is it going to last? Meteorologist Jacob Montesano is here to tell us. Jacob?
Well, it's not going to last forever, but we're still going to have a few days of mild temperatures before we have that alert day, which will be Saturday. We could be seeing some more snowfall accumulation, but we'll have another system before that, and before that, we'll have a pretty nice day tomorrow. Looking at the current radar, we are seeing still some light sprinkles for parts of the area, but a lot of that precipitation that we've seen today has mostly cleared out. Just going to see those very light sprinkles continue throughout the evening, but otherwise staying pretty dry, but also staying pretty mild as highs, or not highs, but temperatures continue to be in the upper 30s, some areas close to the lower 40s, and they're going to get a little bit milder before they do drop back down for next week. Overnight, we're not going to see the temperatures drop too much. Lows will be around 30. They actually are going to be a little bit warmer than the average high for this time of year, but the milder temperatures will lead to some foggy conditions as visibility could drop down to near quarter of a mile, maybe even less than that by the time we get to tomorrow morning, especially for Madison and areas to the west. Now, it will get better for the afternoon, and we also will see the clouds clear up, not just the fog, and we're going to have plenty of sunshine for the afternoon with highs near 40. So all things considered, it's going to be a pretty nice day, and definitely enjoy it because we have plenty of precipitation to end the week with some colder temperatures, but they're not going to be bitter cold by any means. I'll talk all in detail about that forecast, though, coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. We're learning about a deadly crash that happened earlier today in the town of Rutland. It was just after 10 this morning. Dane County deputies responded to U.S. Highway 14 at Oak Hill Road for a crash involving one vehicle. The sheriff's office says the driver was headed south when he lost control and rolled and hit a tree. The 55-year-old man was alone in the car and taken to the hospital where he died. Next at 5, the Trump administration is freezing $10 billion in funds for social services and child care in 5 Democratic-led states.
It comes after the White House paused federal funding in Minnesota amid fraud allegations. Political reporter Ellie LaLiberte is here now. Ellie, Wisconsin is not one of those states, but what are local providers feeling about this?
Well, they're still very concerned. Wisconsin actually went through its own child care fraud scandal back in 2010. And because of that, advocates tell me the adequate guardrails are in place. However, one Waunakee provider tells me that the threat of funding freezes are just another point of uncertainty for the industry.
Everybody who owns and operates a child care center is kind of hanging on by their fingertips.
Heather Murray runs the Art House preschool in Waunakee. She knows firsthand the funding challenges that come with the job. especially as other states are at risk of losing federal support with renewed concerns about fraud.
And when you have a budget that is very razor thin, any type of money that doesn't come in is going to have real effects.
But Ruth Schmidt, the executive director of the Wisconsin Early Childhood Association, isn't worried about fraud. She says after Wisconsin's own child care fraud scandal roughly 15 years ago, the state overhauled licensing and reporting requirements.
So there's an Office of Program Integrity whose sole responsibility is to ensure that Wisconsin is an excellent steward of our public dollars.
But she is worried the rhetoric could vilify the industry.
And it's already an industry that is so fragile.
According to a 2024 survey by the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families, the childcare industry is unable to serve roughly 33,000 kids due to a lack of staff.
You start attacking this field, you start criticizing the ethics of what is happening with these child care programs, and you think for a minute we're going to be able to continue to recruit people to do this amazing work in our state?
Those impacts felt by providers like Murray.
There shouldn't be any fear of fraud here, I wouldn't think. But again, we are an industry that are holding on.
Now for childcare in Wisconsin, a significant amount of federal dollars go to a grant which primarily supports low-income working families. We're breaking down the impact federal dollars have in Wisconsin even further this Sunday morning on For the Record at 10:30.
Ellie, thank you. And amid the accusations of fraud in Minnesota, the Trump administration is sending 2,000 federal agents to the Twin Cities. It's an escalation of its immigration crackdown on the Somali community in the Twin Cities. The viral video these allegations stem from mentions several daycare centers. All but 2 have active licenses. There is no recorded evidence of fraud.
The man charged with stalking the Wisconsin Supreme Court Chief Justice will avoid jail time. 37-year-old Ryan Thornton pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanors, intimidating a victim and disorderly conduct. In exchange, the prosecutor dismissed the initial felony charge of stalking. Prosecutors charged Thornton in October of last year, alleging that he sent repeated threatening emails to Chief Justice Jill Karofsky. A criminal complaint alleged the emails included insulting language and asked for the Chief Justice's home address. Thornton will serve 4 years of probation and is barred from contacting Justice Karofsky.
The Chief Justice has also released a statement in response, and it reads in part, quote, "We are at a pivotal moment in our history, facing a massive increase in attacks on judges and the rule of law. A court cannot carry out its constitutional role if the people inside the courthouse do not feel secure."
2 people are dead after a house fire this morning. It happened in the town of Schulzburg. The Lafayette County Sheriff says the report of a fire came in at 1:30 this morning on Dunbarton Road. The Schulzburg Fire Department responded to the scene with help from other agencies. A deputy on scene couldn't get inside the home because of the heavy smoke. After firefighters contained the fire, they entered the home and found the 2 people. Their identities have not been released. The cause of the fire is under investigation.
New information, Metro Transit is temporarily reducing service on 2 of its routes to allow for repairs. Route A1 and Route B will be reduced to 30-minute service throughout the day, and Metro says scheduled maintenance and mandatory inspections along with the unexpected fleet repairs have led to a temporary shortage of buses.
Well, all eyes, of course, are on Venezuela and the U.S. On Saturday, President Trump ordered airstrikes in Venezuela and captured President Nicolas Maduro.
And the flight's canceling hundreds of flights out of the Caribbean over the weekend, commercial flights. And our Tanisha Shaw talked to a business owner here in Madison that had to extend their stay because of those military attacks.
The lights are off, the blinds are down, and the door is closed here at Marie's Soul Food. And it's going to stay that way for another week because the owners are currently stuck in another country.
At first, I would say that I felt that we were stuck just because we were expecting to leave.
Marissa Holmes expected to leave St. Thomas on Saturday, January 3rd. But now her flight home to Madison doesn't depart until next week.
We literally heard about what happened. We were on our way walking from our resort to the taxis to go to the airport. We had not known what happened.
On Saturday, the same day that Holmes' flight was supposed to depart, President Donald Trump ordered airstrikes to Venezuela as tensions rise between President Trump and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The military airstrikes impacting more than 400 flights out of the Caribbean Saturday. Holmes is surprised that she is one of those affected.
So we had nowhere to go. And that's when I felt, panic. And I was like, okay, what are we going to do now? So I decided to reach out to the assistant of the owner of the resort we were staying at. And thankfully, she was able to get us a room.
Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
And Marie's told us they plan to open up again next week.
Well, next at 5, battling through the pressure of a playoff road trip against the Bears.
And our Packer senior writer Jason Wilde takes us inside the Packer locker room as the green and gold prepare for a do-or-die game at Soldier Field on Saturday night.
Plus, what we know about a potential data center in Vienna ahead of a meeting tonight to talk about the financial impacts on the community.
And warm weather here today, but how long will it stick around? Jacob tells us more in his First Warn forecast.
On Wall Street, stocks ended a second straight day with strong gains. The Dow jumped 485 points at the close. The Nasdaq added 51 and the S&P 500 jumps 43. We'll be right back.
For watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, the playoff pressure is here for the Green Bay Packers.
That's right. It's a rubber match in the best-of-3 series, if you will, with the NFC North champion Chicago Bears Saturday night at Soldier Field. And our Packers senior writer Jason Wilde has a look at the Packers' mindset as they head for the postseason.
We all know that the playoffs come with greater pressure. But as Billie Jean King once said, pressure is a privilege. That said, the Packers know that their matchup on Saturday night against their arch rivals, the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field in the NFC wildcard round, they can't treat it like anything else than another game. That said, they know the stakes are high, and they feel good about where they're at with their confidence.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same thing our guys have been doing all season long. It's a tough opponent on the road, a division rival. There's obviously going to be a lot of excitement, not only, everywhere about this game. So, we just got to go play our type of game.
We'll have full coverage going into Saturday night's matchup with the Bears at Soldier Field and of the game itself from Chicago on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. At rainy Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. And News 3 Now Sports Director Andrew Banstra, along with reporter Nash Darrow, will be live in Chicago this weekend for coverage of that game.
They'll have previews ahead of the showdown on Friday, and then they will be at Soldier Field on Saturday.
Time now for your forecast. Those warmer temps, a little more sunshine out there, melted off some snow, and Jacob is here with the full story.
Thanks, Eric. We are going to continue to see some high temperatures in the 40s for tomorrow and Thursday, but then we also will see plenty of rain later in the day, Thursday into Thursday night, and then a second system will bring some snowfall for Saturday where we could see that accumulation. Now, taking a look at the alert day, it is for that Saturday system. Obviously, we will see plenty of rain Thursday, not bringing alert day conditions to our area, but we definitely could see accumulation on Saturday. How much we're going to see is still up in the air, but we'll probably see at least 3 inches or at least close to it for a lot of the region. Looking at the rainfall forecast, light showers we're seeing right now almost completely gone, and most of the night and certainly tomorrow will be very dry with plenty of sunshine by the afternoon and evening tomorrow. Then we'll see the clouds move back into our area for Thursday morning, and then by Thursday afternoon that first system will bring plenty of rain across our area. Rain could be heavy at times, but it's mostly going to be in the form of rain, maybe some freezing rain to wet snow mixing in for areas well off to the north and northwest later in the night into Friday morning. But again, this is mostly going to be a rainfall system, and those that do see the potential for snow won't see any accumulation. That will clear out by Friday morning. Most of Friday will actually be pretty dry, and then we'll have that second system move into our area late Friday night into Saturday, and this system will bring mostly snow across our area. And once the snow does move in, it is possible that that snow could continue throughout most of the day Saturday and into Saturday night. It doesn't look like snowfall is going to be particularly heavy at any point, but obviously with it lasting for quite a bit, it is expected to produce some accumulation, and then it will finally clear out by the time we get to Sunday morning. Now, for those of you that may be interested or curious, this system is expected to impact Chicago during the Packers game Saturday at 7 p.m., although there won't be quite as much accumulation there as it will be here, or at least the chance of accumulation will be a little bit less right now. We're still going to see some light snow with temperatures in the 30s and some breezy conditions during it as well. So not ideal conditions for a playoff game, but obviously it is the Midwest this time of year, so we shouldn't expect anything less. Here's a look at the recap of all of it. Rain Thursday into Thursday night. Maybe some wet snow for northern and northwestern counties late Thursday night, but should be mostly rain. Snow beginning late Friday night and continuing throughout the day Saturday into Saturday night with some accumulation expected. Now, temperatures are expected to drop at least a little bit after that system, but we're not talking about anything that cold. We'll have highs back in the upper 20s, certainly not bitterly cold. And then right after Sunday, we're going to have highs back in the middle to upper 30s with maybe some 20s returning towards the end of the 10-day forecast, as we'll see a few small chances of some precipitation throughout next week. So pretty nice tomorrow with partly sunny skies in the afternoon, pretty rainy by Thursday afternoon and Thursday night. Friday should be pretty dry, a little bit cooler, but still not bad at all temperature-wise. Then that snow is expected for most of the day Saturday, and then for Sunday, it will be a bit colder, but rebounding pretty quickly by next work week.
All right, Jacob, thank you very much. Well, due to the weather, all of Madison's ice rinks are now closed. Madison Park's giving that notification on a Facebook page this morning. It's not clear when the rinks will reopen. That post just says until further notice.
Happening tonight, the Village of DeForest Board will lay out the potential financial impact of a proposed data center. QTS Madison is proposing a data center campus in the adjacent town of Vienna. They're seeking to have more than 1,500 acres of land there annexed to DeForest. The proposal has garnered significant public interest about not just the financial impacts, but also the environmental ones. News 3 Now has been following this story, and we will be at tonight's meeting. Arman Rahman will bring us coverage tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Still ahead at 5, a look at Wisconsin's ties to January 6th, 5 years after the protests at our nation's capital, where the fake electors case stands now.
News 3 Now at 5.
Venezuela's military says at least 24 of the country's security officers were killed in the U.S. military operation to capture Nicolas Maduro. That brings the official death toll now to at least 56. The new information comes one day after Maduro appeared in a New York courtroom to face drug trafficking charges. Meanwhile, Venezuela's future remains unclear. The president says the U.S. will, quote, run the country. That's something lawmakers have pushed back on.
The administration has no plan for what comes next in Venezuela.
For those who are saying that we're going to run and occupy Venezuela, we're not. What is the goal? Fix up the place. Create conditions for a free, fair election.
Currently, Maduro's VP is serving as Venezuela's interim leader. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. will rely on existing sanctions on Venezuela's oil sector to gain some leverage.
Today marks 5 years since a crowd of President Trump's supporters broke into the nation's capital in an attempt to prevent the affirmation of former President Joe Biden's 2020 election victory.
Our Sarah Carlson's here with Wisconsin's ties to those riots and an ongoing case related to them. Sarah?
That's right, Eric and Susan. When he re-entered office last year, the president pardoned more than 1,500 people who were convicted for their participation in the January 6th riots. And that includes 11 Wisconsinites. At least 5 people died as a result of these riots. Several law enforcement personnel died later, and some by suicide. Now, while the Justice Department indicted the president on conspiracy to defraud voters, that case was ultimately dropped upon President Trump's re-election. That's because the department's guidelines say that you cannot prosecute a sitting president. In the meantime, the legal challenges are not over for people allegedly involved in this event that day. Federal prosecutors who investigated President Trump's conduct related to January 6th say the plan to overturn the election started right here in Wisconsin. Currently, 3 former Trump aides are charged in our state with 11 felonies. Those are Jim Trupis, Kenneth Chesbro, and Mike Roman. Wisconsin Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul brought these charges. He argues the three men created a document that falsely said President Trump won Wisconsin's 10 electoral college votes back in 2020 and then attempted to deliver the document to then Vice President Mike Pence. As of right now, Troupis and Roman are the only two headed to trial. Chesbro's case is still making its way through the Dane County Court. And we should note Chesbro and Troupis settled a civil lawsuit on this matter back in 2023. Susan and Eric.
Sarah, thank you. And stay with us. Jacob's back. Final check of your first warn forecast when we come back.
Tonight, our network exclusive with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, what she told me about her country's future and America's involvement in it. That's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up tonight at 6, hear from an organizer in Janesville on why they support an effort against a proposed data center there. That story and more 30 minutes away on News 3 Now at 6.
Comedian Nikki Glazer is getting ready to host the 83rd annual Golden Globe Awards for the second straight year. It airs this Sunday here on CBS, honoring the best in film and television. Glazer made history last year as the first woman to host the Golden Globes solo, earning rave reviews from audiences and critics. She has big plans for her opening monologue.
I have like a list of everyone that I'm making fun of because I'm going to send them a gift afterwards of being like, thanks for being a good sport. Like just something to be like, listen, I know this wasn't easy on you and thanks for playing along. You know, as assuming that they play along. Maybe I won't send it if they're mean about it.
You can see how celebrities handle Nikki's zingers at the Golden Globe Awards. It airs live this Sunday, 7 p.m., right here on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
And Jacob is back with a final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to have a few more days of these mild temperatures. Tomorrow is actually going to be a very nice one with partly sunny skies in the afternoon, highs near 40, middle to lower 40s Thursday, but we will see that rain move in the afternoon, continuing overnight Thursday. Friday should actually be pretty dry, and then we have that next system, which has prompted the alert day beginning late Friday night and continuing for most of Saturday, where we could see that accumulating snowfall.
All right, Jacob, thank you. And thanks for watching tonight at 5, everybody.
CBS Evening News is next. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6, and you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.